What's up, guys? My name's Katai, and I have the most underrated channel on YouTube. And this is some more Transformers Fall of Cybertron multiplayer demo gameplay. This time, this is my first game playing with the Titan class, because today's commentary is going to be feedback of the multiplayer demo. Now, obviously, this is just based on a demo. Who knows if with the further unlocks, the more of the games balance out. But that being said, let's get on with my feedback. Alright, first and foremost, like I said before, it's a great game. I'm having a ton of fun playing it. I mean, yeah, it does get repetitive because it's the same map, you do the same thing over and over again. But what I want to get into is basically what I think should be kind of nerfed or buffed or taken a look into again. And the first thing I want to start off with is vehicle abilities. Now you're probably thinking, what vehicle abilities are you talking about, Katai? There is none. Exactly my point. There is none. There was in Warfare Cybertron, because I was asking my friends the other day. I was asking, guys, how do you barrel roll? How do you barrel roll? Because I was a scientist and I was in the gen, and I remember specifically that jets could barrel roll out of harm's way and just fly off. And that's what made them so awesome. It kind of balanced out the fact that they had really little health, so they can just barrel roll and get out. They took that away. They took away the barrel roll for the jets. They took down the barrel roll for the infiltrators, because they used to be able to barrel roll on the ground. They took out the ram for the leaders, which is now the destroyers. And I forgot what Titans had, but I know. But they also had an ability too. But anyways, so they took them out, and if they're going to take out the vehicle abilities, I think they should buff up the health in that case, because I used to ram with the leader. I used to be able to, like, as Optimus Prime, I would just ram to people and it will get me kills. But if you're gonna take that out, at least boost up the shields, So that's the next thing, the shields. It doesn't even feel like shields. They feel like having that like an extra set of like 10 HP or something. It drains ridiculously fast, like one hit gone. It's almost like it's a 1 HP shield. It's like you don't feel like you have a shield. It just feels like an extra bar on top of your health. So I would really appreciate it if they actually came in and actually made it feel like an actual shield. Because it doesn't feel like a shield, this is especially important for the scientist class, because the scientist class, or the jet class, they get killed so easily. It's not even funny anymore. In Warfare Cybertron, I remember that I used to be able to fly in with the jet, capture an objective, and then fly away before I got into any trouble with like Titans and leaders. And a lot more people ran leaders in war, because like in war, there was another ability that leaders had, which was Battle Cry or something like that, which buffed all the players for a temporary amount of time. And it's not here. At least I don't see it here. It's not here anymore. Now it's that little barrier thing that they have going on now, where people can't shoot at the barriers, but you can. So to me, it seems kind of pointless, because it's like not many people shoot. Most people would rather just get up in your face and then shoot you in the face or melee you. Especially if you're a Titan, you want to get up in people's business and use the whirlwind ability. Me and my segues, man. Next up is the whirlwind ability. Why did they bring that back? Look at this. Watch this. One kill. That guy's super damaged. I turn around on him and boom, 2 kills. Whirlwind ability. Why did that come back? I mean, you guys couldn't have made like a different, thing. But it's in the game. They're not gonna take it out anytime soon. But the only thing I would probably ask is that like they maybe buff the damage, not buff the damage. Excuse me. Nerf the damage from the whirlwind ability, so like people like that are scientists can maybe survive it. Or like, again, this goes back to my shield argument. Increase the shields, man. Make it feel like an actual shield. Give me the opportunity to just, be able to like take a few hits and then fly off. Now, I want to go now in order of the classes from left to right when you're on the custom screen, on the created class screen. I want to start with the infiltrator. Personally, the Infiltrator I think is fine. But I saw a video today that made a really good point about the Infiltrator's secondary weapon, which is that semi-automatic like long shot. It's not really a sniper, but it's a long shot, and it's really good. I like that. I like the way the Infiltrator is right now, personally, because at least it gives Infiltrators a chance to counteract against Titans, and that weapon does a really good amount of damage. But I would agree that maybe if you decrease the fire rate of that weapon, it'll be a little more balanced. I want to link you to this video that I saw earlier today. That it's actually a video that follows Cybertron's community manager and the development team is actually looking at, and it makes a lot of really good points. But it didn't really get to one of the main points that I'm going to discuss here in a little bit, that I wish it would have discussed. But let's move on. Next up, the leader class. That thing deserves a buff. I'm sorry, it really does deserve a buff, because it has both the weapons, the primary and the secondary weapons, are AOE weapons. Aerial effect weapons. If it misses, it still does splash damage. And it takes so long to reload those weapons. I would rather it have some kind of machine gun or weapon or something that's like fully auto, instead of like these like semi-auto splash damage weapons. Okay, but that's pretty much my only complaint about it. Other than that, it's a really weak class in my opinion. I know it has 400 HP. Shields are pretty much worthless, like I said before. But the weapons, it takes so long to reload, and when you're screwed and you have to reload, you're screwed. You really are. There's no like I can run away or anything, and leaders aren't fast at all. They're really slow. Not as slow as Titans, but they're slow. Next up, Titans. This is the main argument, the main point that I want to make that wasn't mentioned, or at least I don't feel like it was properly addressed in the video that I linked. I personally believe that Titans are OP. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say that they're not, but I know an even greater amount are going to say that they are. And the reason I'm calling them OP is because it seems like their weapons, even though it's the same weapon that's being used by the scientist class, at least the primary, their weapon seems to be doing more damage, and it feels like they're taking less damage. Now, I understand that the Titans are, they're tanks, and the purpose of a Titan is to be like the juggernauts. They're supposed to go in there, take damage, be a tank, literally and figuratively, and fight people head on. I understand this, but at the same time, why would you put a Titan with a secondary weapon that can actually heal them? They have 500 HP plus shields, and their secondary weapon has the ability of sucking people's energy and letting them recover. I personally think that secondary needs to go, and it needs to be put on, if anything, put on the scientist class, because I think it's kind of dumb that the scientist can heal others but it can't heal itself. But at the same time, it's probably like a little balancing issue. But if you're gonna put that, I forgot what it's called. It's some kind of energon. It's called energon's removal sucker or something like that. But energon consumer, something like that. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. It's the secondary weapon on the Titan class, and it needs to go from the Titan class. It needs to go onto another class. I personally wouldn't mind if it was on the Infiltrator, but I mean the Infiltrator, excuse me, not the Infiltrator, the Scientist. But if it's going to stay, that needs to be nerfed. That needs to be nerfed because it does way too much damage, and they recover way too much HP. Like I was using this after this game that you guys see here. I was using that secondary, and I was sucking like almost like 150, 200 HP out of the guy, and I'm recovering that much. So like in 2 shots to an Infiltrator, or 2 shots to a Scientist, they were gone, and I was fully healed. So I found that ridiculously unfair. Even though I was the one getting the kills, I found that ridiculously unfair. Excuse me. And every time I fought a Titan, you know, I always felt like I was completely outclassed. Not just because I was not a Titan myself, but because, like, no matter, even if I was a Titan, I was fighting another Titan, I would still feel like, okay, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have some trouble here. Now I know, again, you know, Titans, they're supposed to be the juggernauts, they're supposed to cause trouble, this and that, and you're gonna see me die here a few times, but that's because, you know, I'm not very good with Titan. And then lastly, before this commentary is over, is that the scientist class, it needs a weapon buffs, because the weapon, like, it feels like the weapon itself don't do shit. It's just better to stay in vehicle mode than shooting with rockets. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoy the commentary, the feedback. Please take this into consideration for when the game is actually released. My name's Katai, and I'm out.